Hola amigos de Axon, ¿cómo están? Estamos hoy acá con Seven Spires, una banda norteamericana de Boston, que se presentaron en Chile este próximo 22 de abril, por primera vez en Chile. Así que es un show muy esperado por sus fanáticos. Eh, First of all, guys, thank you very much for your time. And how are you doing today?
Good. We're great. Thank you for having us. It's great to be doing this with you and, of course, to be coming to Chile.
Okay, well, this will be your very first time here in our country, but Adrian, you came here before, with Avantasia. So what did you tell to your bandmates about the audience here in South America and in Chile?
Oh, what did I tell you guys?
I mean, that there's a lot of energy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
amazing energy. I think it's every time I go there, it's like I feel like I could, I don't know, climb any mountain with the energy that's contained in the room. It's explosive and amazing.
Okay. Um, well, as you know, Seven Spires is a symphonic metal band, but in your music we can find influence of different genres, such as power metal, black metal, and death metal. So what can you tell me about this diversity in the band?
I mean, we all really like all kinds of music, and at least from a songwriting perspective, I think that certain subgenres or certain genres in general carry a certain energy emotionally. So sometimes that's the right vessel for which to tell a certain type of story. But I think it was never really a conscious choice to like blend so much. It just kind of happened. You think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your bandmates, what they think about it?
Yeah, I mean, I think we agree. I think, like there are so many different attitudes that are right for different parts of the music, and us as musicians try not to think in genres so much. I think that this can be an easy thing for maybe the listener to find new things that they might like, but as musicians, even as far as what we listen to, I think we don't necessarily go from categories so much.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay. And for you, Adrian, as a lead singer, what was your most challenging song or vocal part to record so far?
To record, um, probably either Architect of Creation, maybe Love Souvenir from a technical standpoint. Honestly, also This God Is Dead was quite marathon recording wise. I
Okay.
mean, the lead parts are quite difficult, but I also I was part of the choirs at the beginning. I don't know how many times we recorded each part, but I recorded for the altos and I also recorded for the sopranos. I think maybe I did some tenor layers, but I'm not sure. But it's not only me in the choirs; it just took a very long time. The arrangements on that whole album are pretty massive. Yeah.
And what can you tell me about your main influences as a singer?
I'm a big fan of Shagrath. I'm a
Yeah.
big fan of Roy Khan, which is a cool thing. I really like Adam Lambert. I really like Einar from Leprous. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Adrian, you have a wide vocal range, How do you feel more comfortable singing, clean or growling?
It's all kind of the same. If I hit one thing too much, then I get too tired. But if I stay balanced in both, then I'm yeah happy. Probably the
Okay.
same for you, like playing more like blast beats versus like groove oriented stuff, or like really dynamic stuff. I like to kind of do both.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's get into your last record so far, A Fortress Called Home. It was released in 2024, What can you tell me about the reception of the record, just released, it was released 2 years ago.
Yeah. Here's one.
Oh, I mean, it's hard as someone in the band to say how the record was received because we're not necessarily out. So what is going on?
It's this auto thing. I gotta turn it off on the iPad, but now it's easier.
But yeah, it seems really good when we're in front of people at shows and when
Okay.
people ask great questions about it. But it's also, we're a little sheltered from the court of public opinion a little bit. And then what you read in magazines might not necessarily reflect what, the average listener is feeling. So it is hard to say for sure, but I think quite well. And, at least reach wise, numbers wise, monthly listeners wise, all the boring metrics that we have to track those things, it seems to be good.
Okay. So, the band, when Seven Spires was formed in 2013, it has been 13 years since then, How have you seen the evolution of the band so far, throughout the years?
The evolution of Seven Spires.
Mm.
I don't know. We met when we were teenagers.
Mm.
So, I mean, if you imagine a group of people that meet in college and have
Okay.
stayed in contact for almost 13 years, we can start with that. I think we all really push ourselves as individual musicians to continue to learn new things and better ourselves. So I would say that is worth noting just because I was talking about this with somebody the other day. I think I didn't realize it, but somebody was like, yeah, each record you put out becomes more complex musically. Is this something that you meant to do, or did you, I don't know. Do you guys agree with that? That the records get more complex?
I think in some ways, yeah. There are some really musically complex moments from
Okay.
Emerald Seas. Definitely a few things on Solveig as well. But then Gods of Debauchery and Fortress. I think it's all very musically complex, but they're really sort of pictures of who we were as musicians at that time. So some of our choices were different back then. Our choice to put something complex in a certain place was way different for Solveig than it was for Fortress. So I think for the most part that it's not like every album gets more complex. I think that we're just like
Different
choices. We're
Okay.
sort of maturing in some way, not from, well, yes, from kids to adults, but also like as far as a sort of flavor goes. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Okay.
think we also spend a bit more time these days in ugly sounds, but like relishing the ugliness of them in not a bad way. Yeah, I think somehow we like to make. I'm just gonna say we, and I hope that we all agree. We like to make ear candy, but at the same time, we also really like relishing these more like angular, disgusting sounds. I don't find the word for it right now, but I think this duality of both is really important, and I think that has been present with us since the beginning. But I think it's manifested in a greater way and an uglier way as the years go on. But ugly, not in a bad way.
In a bad way, yeah.
Yeah, maybe in a real way.
Okay. Guys, have you ever think about, performing with a full live orchestra somewhere in the future, like bands such as Epica, With Temptation, or Dimmu Borgir, and maybe in the future?
Well, it's amazing because so many people have asked us this question.
Yeah.
Like recently.
Recently. It especially.
There's something we should know.
Right. Well, and I think a lot of the people that have asked us this have come from Brazil, Argentina, Chile. Like when we announced that we were coming to this continent, a lot of people have asked since whether or not we would do something with an orchestra. So
I guess we better.
we would love to, and maybe on this continent it would be a good place to do something with an orchestra. So far, it's been a sort of financial and logistical limitation. I mean, we're supporting a lot of other bands on the road when we go out. So if we bring a whole orchestra, they're going to probably not appreciate that as much as when it's our show. So.
But it was always part of the dream, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I hope for that. I really like to see, guys, performing with a live orchestra. It would be great.
Us too.
We'll let you know.
Okay. Well, guys, tell me, is there any plans for a new album? Maybe 1-2 years from now? Have you been writing something?
Yeah, there's definitely plans for a new album. There's a lot of material that's written and being refined currently. Maybe not currently because we just finished rehearsals for this tour. But leading up to this, we were spending time both preparing for the tour and also working on the new album. Can't really say yet when it will come out, but it's coming. That's for sure.
Okay, something to add, your bandmates, about this?
Can't say anything about it.
Yeah, we don't want to ruin any surprises, but we can't really do anything else. So you know,
With our lives.
yeah. So.
I guess of note, this will be the first album that we have Dylan with us, and Dylan's also a great writer in himself.
Okay.
So it's really nice to add like another voice, another texture to the mix.
Yeah.
So that's something to look forward to as a new set of flavors.
Yeah.
That's true.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out what to do about this auto. I think that's okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, Adrian, the next question is for you. So, what can you tell me about your experience of being, a front woman of a metal band and also one of the main songwriters in Seven Spires?
Well, it's fantastic. It's the only thing that I would want to do in life. And I'm very thankful that it is what I do. Very thankful for my bandmates and for my creative partners here. I have so many feelings in me, and singing and songwriting is, I think, the only way that I can keep them from rotting inside me. And luckily, it seems that people also like our music. So everything's working out.
Okay.
Somehow.
Okay. For good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, guys, tell me, what are your expectations of your next show here in Chile and in South America, in the Bargains Open Air in Brazil, in Chile, So what are you expecting from us?
We're definitely going to need some help from you guys because we'll be flying from Greece directly to Argentina and then directly to Chile, same day, play the show. So we'll need some extra energy to make it through.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the expectations, is that people are going to really bring the energy. And I think there's one venue that we're playing at in Brazil where they have seats, and somebody asked us if we were going to tell the audience to stand up, and my expectation is that we won't have to tell them to stand up, that they'll already be standing. And I think this is a very nice way to kind of sum it up, because hopefully there are people that know the songs and sing along with us and that kind of thing. And maybe some people will show us nice food too. That would be cool. Be great to eat some good food while we're there. But I don't think there will be much time for anything else besides eating and playing.
Well, in Chile, you have to try the wine because it's very good here. You know that?
Okay.
Good to know.
Good to know. We can do that.